I would request Dr. Ghosh to come to the dais and address us. Sir, please.
Spellbound, isn't it? You know what? Though my face was this side, I could see many of you parents were crying. Now, with this emotion of somber silence, may I request all of you to think of those shaheeds, the martyrs, who gave away their life, because of which you and I are sitting here today and enjoying our freedom. May I request each one of you to stand up and observe silence for 1 minute with your eyes closed and pray for the peace of those tremendous souls, beginning from now. It's a great joy to see the children performing and carrying such powerful message of we are Indians. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 31. While explaining, Paramahansa Yogananda is quoting great historian and philosophers. He is writing, let us remember the eminent historian and philosopher Bill Durant stated that in 1930, Simon Kuster, Bill Durant wrote in New York Times in 1930 that India cannot be forgotten. I want you to think, that was the time our independent movement was going on and the Shaheeds were laying down their lives, continued till 47. Jallianwala Bagh, our Indians were shot down. But same time, some Britishers, Simon Kuster, Dr. Bill Durant, they've been writing in New York Times that don't forget India. India is Bharat. Bha is Brahma Jyoti, and Rata is those who are immersed in that Brahma Jyoti. You and I need to remember that. Today, India is rising from being a pale shadow of the Western life. If you look carefully, if you try to go past the immigration when you're going abroad, try and go past the immigration in kurta pajama like this. Just see how they will treat you. But if you wear a suit and tie, you're treated differently. But from there, India is rising. Bharat, we are Bharatiya. Those who are immersed in that Brahma Jyoti is Bharatiya. We must not forget the contribution by the Western technology, the Western science, the Western information revolution. But can we also not forget the Vedanta and the Upanishad and the Bhagavad Gita and the Puranas, you and me, we all get together. We need to bring up this culture in our home, in our society, in our schools, in the colleges and the university, where the youths are going to now take up this country. The World Religion Authority, Houston Smith, recalled in 1950, this is being quoted as an anecdotal record in page 239 and 240 and 246 in Bhagavad Gita. That eminent British historian and philosopher Arnold Toynbee, he went ahead and predicted what Swami Vivekananda had predicted well before, and Paramahamsa Yogananda in their deep samadhi. And what was the message for the rest of the world? That India, the conquered, would conquer her conquerors in 21st century. This is 21st century. You and I need to give this message to our children. I want you as parents, as teachers, as a citizen of India. We have the right to be the citizen if we carry the value of the country wherever we are. We should stand proud Indians. Carry your values, carry your culture proudly. Just like you don't mind trying out a Western suit, trying out a Pizza Hut pizzas, or a hamburger from McDonald's. Sure, you can go ahead and try the Western suit or the dresses or the jeans, but don't forget the Indian saris and the kurta pajamas of our country. Be proud wherever you stand. Take the value of our country. This value, we as parents, we as teachers, we must give it away to our children so that they proudly carry it across and they in turn give it away. As Guruji told you, that how can you take away 100 from 100 and still keep it 100? Is that same message from Vedanta, that be Jyotirmaya. If you got the Jyoti, you light up from your diya, from your candle, million more candles in the Jyotis. Do you lose out anything? We don't. But somehow with the influence of the Western science and the Western culture, we forgot the ancient Indian traditions that Atithi Devo Bhavo. When somebody comes to you, he should be treated like God. Whenever you visit somebody's home, our ancient Guru's message, which our Guruji keeps reminding us, do not go empty-handed. Carry something showing your respect. It may be not money, it may be not chocolates or gifts or flowers, it can be even a small note in which you write down your reflection on that family and on your last get together. This is India. And we have so much. If we just carry this value and give it to our children, but you and I have to be the role model first. India is famous not for saying, as the military general at the great police forces of India, as the great Air Force, at the great Navy, at the great border security forces, they don't say the leader doesn't say, Aage bado. They say, Mere piche piche aao. That's India. Get that message as the parents, as the teachers. Follow me, children. I will show you. I want you to keep this feeling something like, have you realized, supposing all of you have got sometimes or the other some toothache, isn't it? Everybody suffered from a toothache. Have you noticed you may have a little wisdom tooth swelling of the cheek also. You may having terrible pain. But you keep a smiling face. You continue with your work for the day. You use your mobile and communication and work in the office, use the calculator and the computer. You continue to work. You eat your food also somehow carefully from the other side. You also go to sleep and wake up in pain, take the painkillers. But notice that pain in the tooth is continuous with you. Whatever you do, you want to get rid of it, but you can't get rid of it. It is there with you. Can you have India like that in you? Keep the power of the India. Keep the power of the feelings of those who have less, those who are poor, those who are destitute, those who are deprived, because you and I have more to give it to them. That's Bharat. Let's carry that message and give it to our children continuously. Give them the message of the ancient Vedanta. India has been the cradle of civilization. India has always been in the forefront. And even the Britishers who were then shooting us down, same Britishers, some of them who were truly wise and enlightened ones, were talking about India, and they wrote in New York Times an article, A Case for India. They went on to say, India is our mother. Please read. God Talks with Arjuna by Paramahansa Yogananda. India is our mother. And Sanskrit is our language, mother of the languages of Europe. That Indian philosophy is the mother of the philosophy of the Western world. And who are they writing? Great philosophers and educators. They are saying that much of our mathematics is through the Arab from India. They are saying the ideals embodied in Christianity is from India. But you and I as Indians, we don't know that. We don't know what is written in Ramayana and Mahabharata. Our introduction to Ramayana and Mahabharata is only through television. We don't know the contents of the Vedanta, Purana, Upanishads, or Bhagavad Gita, or our Quran, or Guru Granth Sahib. We do a little bit of narrating, or even what the people are just reading out. You narrate automatically, but not with consciousness. If you and I reflect, did you know that Jesus Christ came to India? Go back home today and type in your YouTube, Jesus lived in Kashmir. You will have 1 hour film by no less than the Government of India Film Division, that Jesus lived in India. He came all the way when he resurrected himself. He was crucified on the Good Friday, On the Easter Sunday, he rose again, and he traveled with Mother Mary all the way. And he lived and traveled across India. Did you know that? That 17 years he was here. Not only that, he died here. Jesus and Moses both left their body and they're buried in Srinagar. Guruji, me, Sharda ma'am, and some of us devotee with our champion children, we've been there. BBC 1-hour film in YouTube that Jesus died in India. But why in the Western world are talking about it? Why are the Americans and the English and the Europeans are talking about it? Obvious reason. If they talk about it, Christianity is the largest religion today in the world. So all the Christians will come charging to see India, where Jesus Christ went. That means what? India is the holy land. So everybody will come to India. Not only India's travel industry will go up, but so with the business. So what will happen? India economy will shoot up, and India will become a superpower. It is not very difficult for you and I to realize India doesn't want it. India wants it, but the European Americans don't want it. I stand corrected. So Barack Obama is already realizing it. He is here today. India has been the cradle of civilization. India was the mother of speech. The first words, starting with Omkar, was discovered by the ancient sages of India. India has been the grandmother of commitment for people, commitment for the country. And that's why India had so many shaheeds. They lived up to the values of India. And India has been, even before the fetus formed in mother's womb, the birthplace of consciousness, Chetana. No other country knew it. But you will be surprised if you read Bible, you will see in many places they're talking about light up the 7 candles in you. Which are these 7 candles? They are the 7 candles in your spine, in the chakras, which has been discovered thousands and thousands of years ago in India. India is that powerful. India went down because of 16th century onwards. Beautiful people like the Mughals, the Tamerlong, Genghis Khan, Babur, Akbar, Humayun, Aurangzeb, everybody raided. Same came the French, the Portuguese, the Zoroastrians, and then came the Britishers. The Britishers, in addition to the looting, they wanted to rule us. So Queen Victoria in 1833 sent Lord Macaulay. If you type in your Googles Lord Macaulay, you will read that message. It's there in the internet. And she sent him, go around India and come back and give me how can I rule India. Do you know, he went back in 1835, 2nd of February. And you know what message he gave to Queen Victoria, to the British Parliament? You'll be surprised. He said, we cannot rule India. She said, what? You brought so much of wealth from there. He said, yes, we can rob them. They're not interested in money anymore because they have so much of money. They want to become one with God because they realize money is not. So we can take it away, but we cannot rule them. She said, why? He said, because their education system is so strong. Their spiritual power is so strong. They are creating people like Shankaracharya, Buddha, Mahavir Jain, Guru Nanak, Guru Gobind Singh, Ramana Maharshi, Rishi Vyasa, Patanjali, Agastya, Vashishta. You think they will ever listen to us or their disciples? She said, then, he said, I went around India. I did not find one beggar, one thief. That is 1835. And all we have today is corruptions, lies, thieves and beggars. We are delighted the Deputy Commissioner, sir, has chosen to come down and represent the beautiful honor of the government and the forces. Their services are maddened today by the crimes that you and I and our children are creating. If you have one alcoholic in the family, let's say your son, you're so worried. But what if you take the whole country's alcoholics and put them together and start creating better human beings from them? Then you're not worried about one. Then everybody is your child. Today you are saying, but police force is not bothering for my son. No, think big. What about this whole country's children? Aren't they our children? Want to do that? If you're sitting in Dubai or New York or Vladivostok and if you see two Indians, won't you say hello? We do that. I want you to remember that. Carry that message. Think of us as together. Even if you have never read, read your spiritual books, whichever religion you come from. Carry the value, because all religion talks about the same value. They may have different practices. They may have different symbols. They may have different process, but the values are all same. And there is only one God. And you and I need to see that God in our children. Victorious kids took birth in our heart and mind, in our deep meditation, where we were guided by the great masters of India, Mahavtar Babaji, through our Guruji. Pranam Guruji. And it is because of, you notice we do not advertise. Each one of you as parent got a message, heard from somewhere, and you come down. Why? Because your children are going to be those Indians, not you and me. Because if you and me were to make India the conquered would conquer her conquerors, we would have already done it. It is our children who are going to bring India to the forefront and be the leader and never to go down again. Because India knows. Notice, great Narendra Modi government has already started. India went down and down in the economy. Are you aware, if you go to Wikipedia and search in India's economy, you will find India to be number 3 in the world in the purchasing power today, and number 10 in the world economy. Be a proud Indian and work towards it. How should we do it? Establish truth, speak truth, not even in a joke, speak a single lie. You know what will happen? As per ancient Vedantic truth, after 12 years, if you live for 12 years without speaking a single lie, every word that you speak thereafter, God Himself will come and make it happen. Because you are a Satyavadi. This is Vedantic truth. And we are experiencing it every day in our life. We live truth. We do not speak lies. Establish purity and establish detachment. Have material wealth. Use it well. For those who have less, for spreading the word of humanity, for spreading the word of what you believe in truth and purity. But be detached like the lotus flower, like great Janak Maharshi. He was the great emperor and yet he was a great saint. He was Maharshi. India is famous for that. It was truly delightful to see the thought process in which you are training your children, you as a parent and you as a teacher. And it's beautiful to see the support team so well coordinating, not one mistake from anyone. It is you who has been specially chosen. You and I, we are Indians. You know what? When mother conceives, at the time the fetus is about to form, there are millions of souls are racing to be in the fetus to take birth. But do you know? Millions of souls lost and only you and your children won, and that's why we are here today. We are alive in our body. But let us not forget that powerful soul within. Vivekananda's words, that if there is a God, let us not be hypocrite, but let's see Him. If there is a soul, let us experience that soul. See that beautiful soul in your child. See the good things in your daughters and sons. Don't look at their faults. Faults will go away. Didn't you and I have faults before? Have you noticed? You've gone over them. Forget the negativity. Look at the positivity. Same way, not only for your children, look at no fault of your partner, your husband or your wife, or your brothers and sisters. Do not look at the fault of your parents. And same way, do not look at the fault of the country. Don't point a finger, either at the politicians or at the forces or at the people. Look at their strength. How can you? Even if somebody tries, even if the terrorists come, they will be smothered. They'll be thrown away. It is beautiful to see our children perform so well. It is beautiful to see, and I'm certain many of you were crying when you saw Kush Bingay singing. Wasn't it beautiful? It is so beautiful to see our cultures being held up on a very good Republic Day. But this Constitution is to be lived. It is not a lawyer's document. Please live it in your schools, in your colleges, in your house, in your offices. We are proud Indian. Jai Gurudev.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspirational words. Now I would like to call Ishani from DP1 to give away the vote of thanks.
Good morning all, and a very happy Republic Day. I, Ishani, student of VKE, am standing before you all with a privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks for everyone who have contributed for the overwhelming success of today's program. I should first thank the chief guest, Mr. Sanjay Patil, who accepted our invitation and bestowed their precious time for our today's program. We remain grateful to all the distinguished guests who represent the prestigious Victorious Kids Educares and all the dedicated students who added glamour and spark with their captivating dance performances in our program. Permit me to mention our appreciation to all the parents for their kind and genuine cooperation, for allowing and elevating their wards to participate in the program. We are happy to mention our sincere gratitude to the organizers and Mrs. Mansi ma'am, Mr. Thakur sir, all the members of the PE department and the music department who have planned this program precisely with scrupulous care and undertook this endeavor to make today's program exceptional and supporting all of us to achieve the very best of our abilities. We owe our heartfelt thanks to Dr. Ghosh and for all the speakers for sharing your knowledge, experiences and your opinions through your explicit communication skills. This school is our stepping stone to greater things. This is what gives us the courage to reach out to our dreams. So I thank you all personally because this is what motivates us to embrace our futures.